And the Tea Party is back. Close to 40 protests springing up across the country today. Americans sick of government bailouts and wasteful spending, taking their message to the streets, and it's spreading fast. We're all over it. With three of those Tea Party protesters, Fran Eaton in Chicago, John O'Hara in Washington, and Jason Pye in Atlanta. Jason, to you first. Why are you doing this?
Because we're tired of seeing government waste our money. Billions and up to trillions in dollars of taxpayer money are going to bail out irresponsible companies, irresponsible mortgage or homeowners, and we're just tired of it. We're tired of seeing the waste. We're tired of seeing the government pick winners and losers. It's the government's supposed to protect our liberty, not give away our money.
Fran, now when I was looking around from these various cities and seeing the kind of crowds you do, sometimes it looked like a big number, then the camera would pan out and it didn't look nearly so big. What was going on in Chicago?
Well, it was a very cold day here, but I can tell you that it was a spontaneous reaction. It brought me back to the days of in our founding fathers. It probably started with a small group, and it began to grow, and that's what we're going to see. The people that I was with today feel taken advantage of. They've been doing their share for a long time, and it's just never enough. And now the precious dollars they have is going to be wasted in their view. And so they're angry about it. And it was spontaneous. It was yelling. There was no organized spokesman for that was designated for this. And I also found it interesting that they were apolitical. They did not want to talk about party politics. They were just
a lot of them hated Republican ways, Democratic ways. So this was a bipartisan rant, I guess. John O'Hara in Washington. Barack Obama has very high approval ratings, and when his speech was examined the day after, he was getting scores like 80%, 85%. So do your protests jibe with how you think Americans are feeling?
Absolutely, Neil. And I think your other guests hit the nail on the head. The really neat thing here is that this isn't just, these aren't professional organizers or grassroots organizers. There is no one central spokesperson. These are hundreds and hundreds of Americans that came out today to say, stop the spending, and get back to some responsible government. The important message here today is that the idea that small government is good government is here to stay.
You know, Jason, when I look at these type of rallies, a lot of people protest and they're angry about this growing tax wave. What if it doesn't work? What if, you have these very strong kind of populist rallies and there's no groundswell of populist support, that you're just a very vocal, distinct minority?
I reject that.
Jason first, if you don't mind.
I reject that. I mean, I think, honestly, conservatives and Republicans were thrown out of office because they forgot their values. They forgot what they believed in. And I think that America is a fiscally conservative, limited government nation. We just need to remind Americans what the founders said, what we've been taught over our history, that we are a nation of capitalists. We are not.
Well, you got to wonder, though, Jason. I think you're right, but John, I'm looking at what's happening, right? And they argue that with certain cycles in our country, the pendulum swings, and maybe now it's toward big government, and I don't know for how long, but that's where we are. What do you think of that?
I couldn't disagree with you more, Neil. I don't think that the election of Barack Obama was a referendum on small government. I think he just made the case that he was going to cut taxes better than some other folks did. And as far as being a small but vocal minority, I don't think that's true. I think in a very small amount of time, just some average citizens, thousands of folks on Facebook. We've got thousands of folks that are on our email list just for the D.C. effort. I think this.
Well,
it
might have been on Facebook, and I admire what all you guys are doing. But Fran, and maybe like you say in Chicago, it's very cold. I understand that, but I don't see the throngs. I don't see the type of rallies that are just saying, we're mad as hell. We're not going to take it anymore. I'm not saying that your members certainly aren't upset, but it's like you're screaming for more screamers, right?
Neil, we had over 300 folks.
To Fran first. Go ahead.
It's just the beginning of a movement. And again, I mean, in the Boston Tea Party, it was not the whole nation who was participating. It began a movement. And that is where we're at. And it's very exciting.
I see. So this is the beginning. You're arguing you're going to hold more of these guys? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. It's coming.
Yes.
That's correct.
Where next?
Neil, Neil, I think that for every one person that was out there today, there's 1,000 folks at home saying, we're mad as hell, we're not going to take it anymore. Correct. And this is just the beginning. I think there's a lot of momentum behind it, and who knows where it'll go from here.
All right. Well, you're right. Boston Tea Party started something. We'll see what this starts. Guys, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.